Let's get this out the way. What a team I support, eh? People, Deluded, I'm back again. Good morning, and I hope you're doing well and safe. Good morning to those of you in the UK. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and of course, good night, depending on who you are and wherever you're viewing from in this world. Don't hesitate to let me know. Shameless, but please make sure you're hitting the like button. Check out the pinned message as well, people. Later today, I'll be doing a live stream focused around Mikel Arteta and my thoughts on Arteta. That's 4 p.m. UK time. Make sure you're all there. Obviously, as we move on to the weekend, it's watch-along business. I know Arsenal are not showing consistency and all the things we want to see on the field, but I bloody well am, people. So, please make sure you're hitting the like button. Again, let me share my screen with you guys and show you exactly what we're getting into. Not right now. We've got other stuff, but yeah, man. Make sure you're all there. There's only 3 likes. I shout out to the 3 people who've hit the like button so far, people. I've dropped the link for that one. Obviously, Sunday we get into watch along business. Love for all the people commenting and things. But yeah, it's in the pin message. But for you lazy guys, it's now in the live chat. So please hit the like button on that. Even if you're not going to be there, you drive the engagement levels. Across my last 2 live watch alongs, I would say Champions League, Real Madrid, Chelsea, and yesterday the engagement, the views, everything was perfect, man. And I'm only going to grow through you lot. So I appreciate everybody who's hit the like button and things like that. But in relation to Newcastle and Mikel Arteta, that's later today. Newcastle will get over on the weekend. Obviously, we've got to preview the game. You know me, I love a Google Doc sheet. We're going to get into that shortly, people. Don't watch nothing. I hope you're doing well and safe. What are you lot saying in the chat? Big up yourself, M. Again, another one showing consistency. I appreciate all the members. Like he said, rise up the likes, as B said as well. How am I doing, my guy? Well, truthfully, I'd rather not be here because of what we've seen already from Arsenal. I don't really have motivation to talk about Arsenal. Some things are better left unsaid. We all know what happened yesterday. We all know this team is heading nowhere fast. But again, I made my bed. I've got a lie in it. Win, lose, or draw, man, I have to be here. So I appreciate all of you lot tuning in, man. Big up DG. Hope you're blessed. Big up yourself for finding the courage to do another video, especially after that travesty yesterday. We appreciate it, though. Thank you. And I appreciate you lot tuning in. John Wayne, hope you're doing well and safe. M, you're always here. Yeah, man, I hope you're doing well and safe, man. I hope you're well and safe. The members, them are out there in their full forces. All the people that were with Uncle Ray last night must be finished today. To be fair with you, probably right in that regards, man. Man are saying I won't be surprised if big up yourself as well, Gooner. Big up 101. But random guy saying he won't be surprised if we lose. And while I want to preach more positivity, I want you lot to be a bit more positive. I want you lot to believe we can win. Really, it's just blind optimism because of what we're seeing. When was the last time we won in the Premier League? When was the last time we won in general? In fact, going into this game, forgive me if I'm wrong, Newcastle's run of games is actually better than ours, people. Because again, you can tell I've got no interest in Arsenal. Again, I just go game to game. But our last 2 games, excluding Villarreal, fortunately, we drew to Fulham. It feels like a loss because we was chasing the game. We somehow threw the game away against Everton. It's been terrible, people. Yeah, we beat Sheffield United 3-0, but apart from that, it's been woeful, people. We had the 3-3 with West Ham. Terrible regardless. Good comeback. We got ourselves handed to us against Liverpool, and then it's been terrible ever since, people. And the one good thing is that the season's almost done. We've got Newcastle away, 9th versus 16th. We've got Newcastle away. We've got West Brom. Sam Allardyce's West Brom next week. We've got Chelsea away on Wednesday after that. We've got Crystal Palace after that. And to end it, we've got Brighton. So the season's done. I know mathematically you can get top 4 and all of these things. But for me, all I want to see from the last games is actually just giving the young players and players that have a future here something to do. Like, give them something like Balogun. Whether he starts or not, can you give him his Premier League debut? Can you give him some minutes? And stuff along them lines there, and all the other things. Martinelli, can you blood him through the middle and all of those sort of things there? There's nothing more other than trying to set up some building blocks, really and truly. It is what it is. Footy, I hope you're well and safe. We've got a super chat. I have to answer that. Steve, big up yourself, and I'm always appreciative of that. You said, morning, DG. Hope everything's good. I'm a Newcastle fan, but I don't really know who's going to win Sunday. I'd probably say a draw. Bro, Newcastle should believe Arsenal's there for the taking. Like I said, Newcastle's last bit of run of games has been better than us. I know a lot of people have been onto Steve Bruce, rightly or wrongly, but you can see it here, people. You look at those last 4 games that they've played. whatever you say, that's a good point against Spurs. You know, people will focus on Spurs. That's a good point. Whatever you say about Spurs' current form, you know, they got a 2-1 win against Burnley. They won 3-2 against West Ham. You know, they should have beat Liverpool if it wasn't for VAR, but they got a good point against Liverpool. So West Ham, man said West Ham, Newcastle are coming into this game in good form. You know, Steve Bruce is fighting. You know, there was pressure on Steve Bruce and pressure on these players. And I feel to a degree, you know, you either curl in a ball or you fight back. And I'm seeing these Newcastle lads fight back. We've seen them go with a 5-3-2. So we know we're going to have to break down a low block, assuming they're with that. We know we're going to have to win our aerial duels. You know what it is already, people. When you look at the last 2 games we've played against Newcastle, we needed extra time in the FA Cup and we needed the second half of the game at the Emirates to beat them. We won 3-0 in the league, people. All them goals came in the second half, and we ended it with 20 shots and 6 on target. We weren't shooting prior to that. And while I'm happy for the goals we created, we've been having problems breaking down low blocks, as you lot know. Go back. I'd implore you all, go and watch that game again. There's 50 odd of you. Please make sure you're hitting the like button. Go, if you got time, go and watch the game at the Emirates again. If you lot remember, there was a lot of criticism around, and it still might be there, but there was a lot of criticism around Steve Bruce and how he's playing football. And whatnot. And when you look at them in the first half, they were difficult to break down. They had 11 men behind the ball. They tried to be a bit more expansive in the second half. Space started opening. Lo and behold, we got 3 goals. You know, we needed extra time to grab 2 goals against them in the FA Cup. So long story short, we've needed the second half or latter periods to turn the game around. I can sit here and demand and quite frankly beg that we start fast, you know, try and not go a goal down within the first 5 like you did in your last game that you played, you know. Start well, win your individual battles, all of those sort of things. And I'm not going to bore you. Look, I would love to sit here and call for it. And I hope we see that, people, really and truly. Newcastle, you know, they're 16th. You know, I think they're safe. But until it's mathematically secured, again, they'll probably won't get relegated. You know, Fulham's on 27 points. There's not really too many games left. But mathematically, excluding goal difference, anything is possible, really and truly. And when you look at it, Newcastle have failed to score in their last 5 matches with Arsenal in all comps. That means they're probably going to bag about 3 and things like that. When we look at it as well, people, you know, going into their system and things, I don't know if you lot can see that too tough. Let me zoom in a bit for you guys. Is it zooming in? I think this is as good as it's going to get for them and them. But they've been playing a 3-5-2 in it. I can't blame them, you know. Again, people might say that's not Murphy's natural role, and we're missing out a name here, people. Whose name have I forgotten there, people? One sec, I'll pattern that up. It does not look right at all. Sorry, people. Have to go to my notes. Please make sure you're hitting that like button if you haven't already. Newcastle notes. Why can't I find it? Here we go. I'm missing someone else out. Dominic Clark, Fernandez, Matt Ritchie, probably, innit? I would say. Now Richie's actually struggling with fitness problems, so he probably won't play against us, and he's very much a man of dark arts. Again, not to scale, folks, people, it's not the exact one, but just to paint the picture. I don't need to spell it out to you. We struggle on the best of days to break teams down. We've needed the second half / latter periods of games to score goals against Newcastle, and I can't see much changing away from home. You know, they've got a bit of form. Arsenal's form is on the floor. Newcastle should believe wholeheartedly they can beat us, people. They should relish it. Now, again, that's going to be a difficult unit to break down. They've got 3 players out there. Yes, Matt Ritchie isn't going to play, but again, that's a very narrow unit, and you can imagine in reality, you know, if the game goes for any period what we expect, you can imagine 11 men behind the ball sort of thing. And again, you can already see, without me putting players in, how this can prove difficult to break down. Again, break down low blocks. We need to play fast. We need to play incisive and all of those sort of things. If I put people back in a slightly more natural position and get these midfielders slightly high up the field, people, again, you know, the midfield battle, you've got 3 midfielders there. In fact, you're going to see it go into a 5, you know, regardless of if Richie's there or not, and Josh Murphy going to be a problem. I don't need to tell you a lot about Saint-Maximin and how much of a good runner he is. So if we see the same thing which we saw with Granit Xhaka, hopefully Arteta has learned his lesson. Again, like against actually like yesterday, you know, someone weren't really trying to take Xhaka on 1v1 all the time. Chuck Weezy weren't trying to do that, but it's just that one time. If I'm Saint-Maximin, you're pulling out there. Naturally, you can see why you should be getting at Xhaka. And then if Arteta goes with Pablo Mari, who lacks pace as well, him being pulled out into a wide area is issues. Just like you saw yesterday where the transition was poor and you had Mari here, well, not to scale, and if it will let me put Mari's name in, not Neri, Marie, Siri, please, you're not needed. Apologies. Yeah, beaten far too easily. So again, I'm looking at Arteta. If you're going to play Xhaka there, you've got to protect him. But we all know Xhaka should not be playing in that role, people. So again, people, breaking down the low block, dealing with their threats. We know Saint-Maximin is going to pull up. Maximin is going to pull out into wide areas and take man on. We know he's going to drop deep and look to take people on. We know he's a great footballer in terms of technical ability. Joe Linton might lack a lot in technical ability, but he can win his first and second balls. That midfield, Longstaff has said he thinks he's playing the best football of his career so far. I've spelt Shelvey incorrectly, but Shelvey can play a pass. Almiron can drive forward. Murphy isn't a slouch as well. So again, it's a difficult unit to break down. So again, you know, what we don't want to see, provided we actually play with a striker, bro, give them service. Look, he's going against 5 man. It doesn't matter if it's a Aubameyang, Lacazette, whoever you want to say, they can't win that alone. So we need to play fast thinking football, people. We really do. So I don't need to spell out to you why we need to do certain things. If I look at the lineup, folks, please make sure you're hitting the like button. Where are we at in terms of likes now? If we look at the lineup, I would go with, I'm not even too sure with you. I don't really believe in much players. I think people need fitness and minutes in their legs. But again, when I look at this, you know, again, when you look at okay, Lacazette and Tierney were not in the match day squad, so I don't know if they're fit enough to do anything, people. But if Lacazette is fit, if Aubameyang's fit, if Tierney's fit, you've got to give. I'm not saying give them 90 minutes, but you've got to give them something. You have to give them some sort of legs in the tank, going into that game on Thursday. Now, for me, can we just win? You know, because our form in the league's been terrible. Can we just win because it gives us a bit of momentum going into Thursday, if you can say that? So it is what it is in that regards. In relation to the lineup, have I missed out any of my notes? One defeat in Newcastle have one defeat in their last 5. Their form is better than ours. Shout out to the Twitter account Obino, because like you can see, Newcastle have failed to score in their last 5 matches in all comps against us. We've won 16 and lost only one of our last 17 meetings with them in all competitions. Arsenal have won just one of our last 5 games in the Premier League. However, we've drawn 2, lost 2 and won 1. And each game probably tells its own individual story, folks, sadly. So, yeah, going back to the tactics board, in relation to the lineup, I don't know what I'm going with, people. I really don't know. I really don't know. I think you've got to play Xhaka. You know, if I just move these guys back for a sec, because I can't see. Marie, I like you, my guy, but I just feel I'm going with Gabriel personally. Gabriel's going to come into the lineup for me personally. I think Saka needs a rest. Again, provided again, I don't know. I need to hear what Arteta is having to say. And again, I'm waiting on his press conference, like you can see here, to know the fitness, because he told us everyone's fit. Clearly, they're not fit enough to play in the match day. And again, if you're not going to risk them in any capacity against I forgot the name now for the team we lost to, Villarreal, you're not really going to risk them in what could be described as a dead rubber Premier League game. Like I said, you can give them minutes in the leg, give them some fitness and things like that, but it is what it is. Random, you keep asking that, my guy. I'm not a physio. I don't work for Arsenal. I know what you know. You know, I can only go on what Arteta is saying. I hope Tierney is back, but again, a half-fit Kieran Tierney is better than what we have. But are we risk throwing him to the wind? Now, obviously, I don't want Xhaka at left back, because we've seen it against Richarlison. We've seen it. We've seen it against Thingy. We saw it against Villarreal. The one time he's tested, the one thing, Xhaka is slow and immobile and he's not a left back. He's going to continuously back off. Again, you're going to have to midfielders are going to have to overcompensate. That's an obvious area. You don't want someone that relishes taking people 1v1, taking on Xhaka. So that's the problem. So for me, put Xhaka back in where he actually plays. Gabriel plays for me, people. I see David Luiz on the bench, so he must be fit to play in some capacity. So if David Luiz is fit, for me, David Luiz, if fit, plays on the weekend, but I think he deserves to come in. To be fair, I would even contemplating pulling in Callum Chambers to go with Gabriel and bringing in Cedric, people, personally. I will go with Cedric, personally. And I know we should be resting Saka and things like that, but Saka's got to do a job for me, really, man. You know, oh gosh, well, that tells you what my laptop thinks of him. You know, Saka's just got to do a job for me, man, because he's the only one that can do it necessarily. I am tempted to go with a back three, and I'll show you lot in a second, you know, but again, probably, you know, my initial thing is a back four. I'll go with him. You know, Leno had done nothing wrong, so I'll start Leno again. You know what, Leno, even though I think Matt Ryan deserves an opportunity, he's done nothing wrong. I don't think Leno. I think Leno put a tiny bit more respect on his name in the Europa League. So as a sort of token of that, he keeps his name in the team. Do you know what? To be fair, man, Ryan deserves to start, man, and that's what I would like to see. So I'm gonna go with Matt Ryan in goal. That's my back five. Xhaka plays in midfield. Obviously, Thomas Partey, Ceballos. I hope we lost his passport and left him in Villarreal personally, because he's not levels. Thomas Partey plays for me with Granit Xhaka. The 10 position again. Odegaard clearly is not fully fit, so Odegaard would get a look in. Let me move these two strikers for you people, and let me exaggerate these lot a bit, just because it looks a bit more pleasing. Let me exaggerate that your actual wing backs. Let me exaggerate that this is a back three. Terrible way of spelling Fernandez as well, but it is where it is. So yeah, that's a midfield three. Again, me personally, folks, I'm playing Odegaard, 60 minutes sort of stuff. You know, he needs fitness in his whatnot. So I'm playing Odegaard. Leno needs rest. On what basis? You know, I hear what people are saying about rest, but it's not really making sense per se. Joe Linton, could you excuse? So yeah, I'll go with Odegaard. That's the midfield three. Up front, again, if fit, I would like Lacazette, but again, if Lacazette's fit, on one hand, I want to start him, let him get some minutes in the legs and whatnot. But on the other hand, clearly, you know, if anything, surely Arteta would have gambled with Lacazette starting yesterday. If anything, clearly he's not fit. So surely, obviously, a couple more days training can make the difference. But does it make sense risking him against Newcastle when our priorities lie in the Europa League? You could say yes. Like I said, he gets a little bit of fitness and shakes a tiny bit of ring rust off. But again, you could be risking a man's hamstring. So on one hand, it might not make sense, people. My actual heart is saying, but then this is where it gets a bit political, people, because if I want this to happen, and that probably means Martinelli's not going to play off the right-hand side, people. And I think Martinelli needs to learn how to play off the left, the right, and in the middle, just like Alexis Sanchez could. So that would be it. But I don't think he's going to go with that. Or he could pull a Bamian out wide, and we know what happened there. You know, I would like to give Balogun a start, because what else are we learning from the league? These lot are not even playing for pride, you know. These lot are not even playing for pride. So you might as well play the young players. As much as I like Balogun, you know, these young players, to a degree, they're oblivious to this situation. Balogun's just a young man that wants to play for Arsenal Football Club. He knows where Arsenal are right now, but he's probably not thinking of it. You know, give Balogun some minutes. Let him see his true level. You know, it's all fun and game scoring in the 23s, but let him get an experience against this back three, assuming it happened. He would learn a lot, you know. Let's see what happens there. I would like Balogun in the match day squad in some capacity. Probably naive to expect him to start. So I would probably go with that. And for me, Pepe would get a start as well. You know, Pepe would go in, but I see him going with William personally. But for me, Pepe, because he's actually a half decent player, that would probably be my lineup. I would like Lacazette to get some minutes, but I need him to start against Villarreal personally. I need David Luiz to also start. Can he get some minutes in the legs? I wouldn't mind moving Callum Chambers out there. Holding probably retains his place. That's my first lineup, people. A part of me wants to go to a back three. Who the hell plays in that back three? I don't know, people. So let's actually try and piece this together. You know, Gabriel, comes in there for me. David Luiz obviously gets a look in there. Which is where it gets a bit political, because again, who makes up the rest of that back three? Obviously, let's exaggerate that these are wing backs. Who do I play? You know, you could play Xhaka there. I'm not with that. But sorry, Broski. You know, we are away from home as well. Might as well try cancel them out. I do think there's a chance he could go with Eddie Nketiah through the middle. Who plays in that back three? He probably will go with Holding, but you know what? I wouldn't even mind Callum Chambers just because he's street smart still. So Holding / Chambers, but I'll go with that, man. David Luiz there. Do you know what? David Luiz central, obviously. Chambers, do your thing. Gabriel, do your thing. Chat to Saka and that. That is a better way of dealing with St. Maximin and Joe Linton. You know, Joe Linton is the guy, like you lot know. He's the brute. He's the one that wants the football knocked into him. You know, knocked into him and winning the first and second balls to bring the likes of St. Maximin in. I guarantee it's basic stuff, people. You know, when Joe Linton wins the first or seconds, you know, get around him so you can get onto that, and then obviously look to do the St. Maximin stuff and try scoring that. So again, I like David Luiz because he seems to relish playing, you know, when it's a tight game like that. He likes it. Sometimes David Luiz gets too tight. That's why I need man to cover, but he's on that. Now, again, that is something I would consider, personally speaking. And obviously for St. Maximin, again, he's not gonna try and win too many in the air. So what are you gonna do naturally? You're gonna pull out wide, try to take Saka rod. Now, Saka 1v1, there might be some question marks, but he can deal with that. Gabriel's got a bit more pace, he can get round. Xhaka peels out to the left-hand side as Saka goes forward anyway. Saka's gonna get back anyways because he's competent, and surely 3-1, by Arsenal standards, not really going off yesterday, should be able to deal with that. Personally, please make sure you're hitting the like button, people, and checking out the pin message. So part of me wants to go to a back three. That's the back 3/5. Obviously, if we just focus on it being a back three, you need to look at the 4-man midfield. You know, I'd probably go. Part of me wants to go with a 3-5-2, really. You know, so that would mean somebody else keeping it moving, man. You know, again, that probably, do you know, if I went to a 3-5-2, I don't really want to do a 3-4-3 with Xhaka and Partey in the middle. I'd probably go with Aubameyang and Martinelli, just out and out strikers. Pepe's got to get sacrificed. Then, you know, you deserve to start, but in all, we're really just looking at the next game. And I guess that's your avenue to bring in Odegaard. He's probably going to go with El Nene, but that's your avenue to bring in Odegaard, in my opinion. You know, that's it for me, really. I think that gives us a bit that will cancel it out, but I don't see him switching to a back five. I don't see him. I don't mind a 3-4-3, but I'm not really on it. By nature, I want to play a 4-2-3-1, people. It's a dead rubber game, you know. There's not really, you know, I hate saying that because there's always something to play for, man. You know, it's a dead rubber one. I do think he'll retain Chambers. Do you know what? I actually feel we'll see this, really. You know, let me put myself in Arteta's thinking now, people. I think we'll see this. I do think Saka will play, but part of me thinks this is what Arteta will go with, personally. No, you spell holding, is it, people? I think you'll go with that. I don't think you'll play Ryan. I think you deserve to, but I don't think you're going to play, if I'm completely honest. You know, we're going to go with a pivot. I think that will stay the same. Partey could probably come out for El Nene, I would say. And then obviously, I think you'll go with Aubameyang through the middle. Personally, I think it should be Pepe, but personally, I think you're going to see this. Now, he hasn't started William for a moment, but I think personally, that's Arteta's lineup. That's me personally, you know, with an exception of a couple. Man said Cedric, what's going on there, people? That's 12 players on the field. What's going on there, Cedric? See how Cedric tried to sneak on twice. He's so good, he's there twice. But I think we'll see something along the lines of that. And many people, listen, when Cedric plays well at left back, we can talk about versatility. When he plays poor, it's shoehorning. I just think he's a tiny bit better 1v1 than Xhaka. You know Xhaka's a ticking time bomb, and I'm not even blaming Xhaka. I don't know why you're trying to do skills near your own area yesterday, but this is where Arteta needs to protect the players. You know he suffers from mobility. You've put him in an area where that's going to be highlighted. He's going to suffer. Put people around him. If Xhaka's going to play left back, then for me, let's just say, all right, let's go with Martinelli. You tell Martinelli, make sure you're backing it. You tell a midfielder, like, let's just say Cedric is someone else, make sure you're covering that side. Partey, better yet. You know, these sort of things can hide it. Gabriel, make sure you're doing your thing. It's as simple as that. But Arteta, I don't know what he's on. I'm trying not to speak about Arteta until the next live stream, which is at 4 p.m. People, make sure you're all there. UK time, of course. That's what I think we'll see, people. Honestly to God, that's what I think we'll see. Away from that, though, that's all I have to say in relation to Arsenal's preview. We'll get into some other stuff right now, people. So let me timestamp that the hell up. Oh, what's that? Semicolons and that. So yeah, people, if we look at Steve Bruce, just because I can't see anything from Mikel Arteta, people, just yet, please let me know if Mikel Arteta's stuff has come out. I really want to hear what he has to say. But in relation to our opponents and who we're playing against, people, as you lot can see, Matt Ryan, Matt Ritchie's an injury doubt. You know, Callum Wilson's been nursing his way back from injury. And again, he didn't start against Liverpool. If he starts against us, I reckon he scores. You know, Joe Linton, St. Maximin, Wilson, they're all problems in their own regards. And really, you want to get Wilson in and move St. Maximin out wide, you know, in an ideal world, probably. I don't know how you'd make it, but you want him out there. You want him out against, assuming Xhaka is there. You want him to play against Xhaka. Take him the hell on. It's simple stuff, people. You know, let's scroll down and see if there's anything more interesting of note. He spoke about the social media boycott. He spoke about Joe Willock. He said he doesn't like being called super sub, by the way. If we can get him for next year, he won't be a super sub. He'll be playing. I'm pleased for Joe. He has the football world talking about him. We'd love to keep him if we can. I don't know where 20 million has come from, journalists. I don't know where 20 million has come from, journalists. We have not started the conversation with Arsenal yet. And Steve has said in relation to summer transfer fund, he said, it's my job to batter the door down as much as I can. On St. Maximin, the last thing we want to do is be selling our best players. He's told us Callum Wilson is starting, people. He said, you know, I think the time is right. So immediately, again, that probably means they're probably not going to go with a 5-3-2. They're probably going to go with something a bit more expansive, because for me, you have to get this guy in. You have to somehow have St. Maximin. If we just say that, if we just remove a midfielder of sorts, which probably should be you know, you need to get Callum Wilson in. Wilson knows how to score goals, but also you can't lose St. Maximin. And then to be fair, Joe Linton could hold the bench, but you need, for me, you thump it into Joe Linton, you get him getting knocks off, and then he brings in Wilson. You know, you've got St. Maximin making runs. There's problematic stuff to be had there. Then it comes down to the midfielders, whoever they are. So with that news, surely they don't go with a back five and they're a bit more expansive. And really and truly, why would you go with a back five against Arsenal? Look at the names. Yeah, when you see Aubameyang, Martinelli, Saka, definitely not William, but you get the point. Yeah, you might think let's be a bit more defensive, but the way Arsenal's been playing is poor. The way Arsenal have been on the transition, we're there for the taking. There's no point probably being defensive, people. You know, there's really no point. Please make sure you're all here for the watch along, people. Shameless plug. Link again been dropped in the live chat. So it is what it is in that regards, people, really and truly. So he said what he's needed to say. Somebody let me know if Mikel Arteta has had his comments and things like that, man. You know, let me just type in Arteta. There's not much he can say. Yeah, man, there's no press conference from Mikel Arteta, but it is what it is in that regards, folks. So let me change that to 27. What are you lot saying in the comments, people? Let me know what you're saying. Let's see what you lot are saying. Hit the like for the boy Wonder. Come on, I appreciate that. If we sell Willock, we need to get Longstaff. Selling for money is pointless. I'm not too sure. I'd take 20-30 million. It don't go much, but if that can be added towards trying to get Odegaard permanently, signing another number 6 or another number 10, a number 10 or an 8, I'm all for that, man. It's a no-brainer. Saka has to play left back. If Cedric gets spun, which he probably will say, why no Saka? For me, I would like Saka to be rested, but I just want to see some competent stuff. Xhaka's cross-field pass across the area was borderline suicidal, bro. He hasn't got a defensive bone in his body, really. Facts, man. Facts. At this point, the game's a formality, bro. We're just playing football for the sake of it. Both sides. Again, I feel sick sitting here and saying to you lot, there's nothing to play for. It's a dead rubber, because I don't believe that. There's always something to play for. Pride, building blocks, all of these things. But like random guys saying, it's dead, man. Like both teams are just dying for the season to be done, innit? Play Matt Ryan, play Cedric ahead of Xhaka. Without Tierney, we can't play a back four. You know, I'm forever late, Terry. Better late than never, my guy. Better late than never. DG, I'm hoping Tierney can get a run out, because St. Maximin will send Xhaka for a baguette. I can't even cap. But I can't lie. If Tierney plays Xhaka, not Tierney, David Luiz, Lacazette, with exception to Aubameyang, because his thing is different, I don't want these guys to get 90 minutes. I just want them to get some sort of blood flowing in their legs, get a bit, you know, get a week training, and then we go on Thursday. Because for me, I need Lacazette to press on Thursday if we're going to have half a chance. David Luiz is a bit of a madman, but he's a brave individual. I'm going to need that. Saka, I mean, even Odegaard, again, we need him. You know, he got 60 minutes. He probably will be good for the 90. Saka, Smith Rowe, we've got to manage them really and truly. You know, it's a game for Martinelli. We're going to get on to KEOWN's comments because I disagree and agree with what he's saying, man. You know. It's mad. I don't trust the process. I can't blame you for not, bro. They're not showing you nothing to trust right now. Not happy, man. I think we're not all happy, really. Big up DG. Still mad about yesterday. Arteta dropped an absolute masterclass on how not to manage a game. I don't remember the last time we dominated the first half. Could we say Leicester away? Even then, we went a goal behind. You know, but I don't remember. I'm probably clutching at straws. I bet you if I listen to my review of that game, I'm gonna be like, DG, you're talking nonsense. Jack has said, hi, DG. Don't know what to think anymore. Our players are just weird. Facts. Bro, imagine the fact that I'm desperate for David Luiz. It says it all, bro. The fact that I'm saying our midfield can't run without Xhaka and the many, he does have some pros, but the many cons he has, this tells you where the club is at, you know. We're lucky Joe Willock can't play against us. To be fair, I think Joe Willock will have the same sort of player ratings as a couple of individuals come the end of Sunday if they carry on like this, man. You know, Andreas, you jinxed it, but yeah, man, you was right about Villarreal winning 2-1, man. You know, it's not even that I don't trust Cedric. It's like, you see, when you do these little right backs playing left back and things, you can do a job. They can do a job, but it's gonna get caught out. If you've got someone like a prime Aspilicueta who clearly is an anomaly, can play left back, can play right back, can play centre half, that's different. But when you've got too many of these, you know, Saka being put at left back if need be, I agree with you. But Saka being put there, Cedric being put there, Xhaka being put there, Callum Chambers right back or whatever, do you get? It's bare shoehorning business. It's dead, man. You know, it's absolutely dead. Absolutely dead, man. Terrible performance, man. We need to practice getting clean sheets if we're going anywhere in Europa. United struggle against a low block, and if we concede against Villarreal, we're out. I hear you. I agree, but it's probably too late in the day for that, man. We should have been doing that against Slavia or against Olympiacos and things like that. It's probably too late in the day, man. And this is why I told people people are exaggerating us improving defensively. We're still, yeah, we're keeping a bit more clean sheets. We're a bit tougher to break down, but we're still making stupid individual mistakes. And this is why I told people we're going to hit a glass ceiling. How much can you improve with people like that? You know, every one of them defenders has mistakes in them. So how can you become a great defensive side? You can improve, but when it's time to get going and there's tough times, they're going to let you down. You know, and this is no disrespect. Luiz played no part, but Luiz, Xhaka, Bellerin, Cedric, you know, as much as I love Gabriel still got that in his game. There's problems in that, man. Everyone's conceded it, man. We always concede goals every game, you know. It sounds stupid because that's what football's about, but if we don't score, we're not winning, fam. Personally, if it's up to me, Saka doesn't play any capacity this week, and I'm gonna be real. I agree, you know, because the game we need to throw all our eggs in that basket. Saka is playing with, you know, he's probably what Wenger described as being in the red zone. I agree. But there's a little voice in my head, and I don't want to describe Arsenal as competitive, but they need to put a competitive team out. And I think Saka gives us the best balance at left back. Like you said, I 100% agree, my dude, man. 100% agree, man. Man just said you. What happened, man? What's all that? What's all that about, man? It's all that. I promise. If someone's DMing your sister or whatever, it's not me, brother. Allow man. How can Arteta attract better players if we cannot manage them in the game? They will see that, and sooner or later, the players are gonna down tools, man. Nothing's gonna change until there's a change at ownership level. If Emre wins Europa League with Villarreal but couldn't at Arsenal, that it will prove the problem is higher than the manager. And I agree, but same way. You're right, bro. Even I've never had to doubt the methods, but I've never had to doubt Arteta's integrity. Same with Emre. It's dead though, because no matter how good or crap they are, they're just pawns in this thing. You know, the owner doesn't give a crap. You know, Arteta. If me and listen, in any job, if us lot stink up the joint, the next day when we get in, we're getting pulled into an office. Is anyone gonna sit there and say, "Yo, Arteta, what was you on yesterday? Why did you do that? Why did he play left back?" You know, just simply asking why, man. You know, it's an issue in that regards, man. You know, I'm trying to save the Arteta chat for later, people. 4 p.m. we'll focus on Arteta, and you'll hear my heart bleed, man. You know, but I will say, you pick the, you know, teams like Newcastle, with all due respect to Newcastle, games like Newcastle, these are the games you should experiment in, not the semi-final. Use what's tried and tested. You know, when your back's against the wall, you're meant to be brave, but also you're meant to go with what you believe in. And if you believe that was the best, if you believe them certain personnel who played, there was issues there, man. You know, bro. I don't even care what Arteta's had to say. We'll get into that in a bit, man. Well, that's the next live stream. There's 172 of you locked in. Please make sure you're hitting the like button. Should we see what Martin KEOWN has had to say about Arsenal? 95 likes, people. 100, 200 is the target. I think we can move there. Should we see what Martin KEOWN has had to say about Arsenal? Yeah, we can, man. Or specifically Martinelli. KEOWN on Martinelli. What's the minute? Say 35. So let's go and pre it quickly, people. Let's get into it. There you go, man. You know, Martin KEOWN claims Arteta doesn't like Martinelli, Gabriel Martinelli, after Arsenal's defeat to Villarreal. I wouldn't say that. I don't think he trusts him. There's clearly something, whether it's on the training ground, whether it's in game, whether we agree with it or not, there's clearly something that Arteta isn't convinced about with Martinelli. Whatever it is, you know, I don't agree with it. Definitely when we're playing like this, you know, you can say he's a man of the future and things, you know, but I need to see it. When I look at Saliba, when I hear the way he spoke of Saliba, when he spoke of Balogun, and the way he's spoken about Martinelli, don't quote me, but something leads me to believe he's relying on them next season. Don't believe that's a fact. But again, I just think it's a bitter pill to swallow. Semi-finals, you'd rather attempt this Emil Smith-Rowe as a false 9, then Martinelli, someone you said is a striker. Then give Aubameyang some capacity of a minute. Then at least even start Eddie, you know, an out-and-out striker, really, really and truly. And I don't think he hates Martinelli. I just think he's not convinced with something Martinelli's doing or not doing, whether I agree with it or not. I wouldn't say I am concerned. I agree with Arteta, KEOWN. I am concerned about Arteta's treatment and not using him. We have to remember he's had a long-term knee injury, but the man's fit now, you know. He's fit now. I just think it's coming down to either training, application in training, tactically doesn't feel you're a fit. He's not prepared to play you on the left, you know, exclusively. He wants you on the left or the middle, or Martinelli likes to play on the left or the middle, and he's not going to get that for many reasons. You know, Lacazette was it one time, Aubameyang's had it, Saka's complicated things. And we need that. I don't think Martinelli is owed any divine right. I do think he hasn't played enough, though. He was overlooked as a start. Again, if Arteta had a game plan and it worked, we couldn't say anything. But, you know, there's always a potential that it won't work. And here we are talking about it, man. As you lot can see here, he said, I've been concerned as to why that player is not playing. And and he said, it's as simple as that. I'm not there every day. I'm not on the training ground. I thought it was very interesting. Odegaard had gone internationally and said in training, this is the best young player I've seen. And he's from Real Madrid. So now it's time to let him fly. Look at the positive. Let's support him. When he came into the team, I thought he did a great job. Not only was he making runs down the middle, but he was coming back. He was like a Duracell battery. And from a tactical point of view, that's why I question Arteta. He doesn't know his players. You know, we've spoken about at the start. Again, for whatever you want to say about Xhaka, if you know somebody isn't good 1v1 defensively and he's slow, protect them. You didn't protect them. Martinelli, I've always said it, away from his technical ability, his infectious nature is what is amazing. You played Smith-Rowe for the pressing. You've got a man who can press until, you know, Martinelli will press until he can't press anymore, you know. And I think you lost that. Lo and behold, when he came on in that little 2 minutes he was playing centrally before things changed, you saw how different it was for Villarreal. And again, not having an out-and-out striker, that's the reason we conceded the first goal, because there was no press. It was uncoordinated. We gave up too much space and they advanced and we was poor on the defensive transition. If some buts are not facts, but if Martinelli starts, if you had a Lacazette, which isn't a point because he wasn't fit, that goal is cut out. The second goal, we've gone to sleep. But I don't know what he's on with Martinelli. You know, I don't think it's a fitness thing because the man is fit now. And I just think at least for Balogun, Martinelli, these sort of guys, you might as well give them game time. They're here for the future. They'll at least please the fans personally. He's went on to say, keep him in the team, play him. You know, what you saw when he first came back, what he was on against Man City in the league. He said, you've seen what you've done with Smith-Rowe and Saka. Support the young players. That's where the energy is coming from. You know, Arteta, you're putting your faith in experienced players and they're letting you down. Against Everton, it was Leno. But yesterday it was Ceballos. You know, it's been Xhaka. It's been many a player this season. Louise, they're letting you down, and you're putting your faith in them. So again, it has to lie with you, really. I wouldn't say he doesn't like him, but it is concerning the little game time he's actually getting. I don't think it's a case of not liking him, people. I really don't, man. I think KEOWN's moving a bit mad there, but again, I don't understand if we're, few weeks ago when we're playing well and players are excelling. I understand not getting a look in the team, but when we're moving like this, and Martinelli's one of the only players that are actual, half decent, it doesn't really make sense, people. It really doesn't. It really doesn't. Lomberg was quite critical on Xhaka as well at the end of the game. So there ain't nothing in relation to Arsenal to continue going on about, really. But, KEOWN's bugging out, really. But he does have some truth. I do think Arteta rates him. So I don't know for that, man. Xhaka was protected all game, DG. No, he wasn't, because he's isolated 1v1 and there was so much space in the game. I've watched the game twice. Go and watch it again. He's not protected, so Arteta can't have that, I don't agree. I share, I respect your opinion, but wholeheartedly, I do not agree. Like, I've watched the game twice. Like, he was not. There's weight on top of Xhaka, probably just needed to take personal responsibility. We're disjointed. 1 minute is Pepe, then it's Smith Rowe peeling out there. The only time we looked a bit better is in the second half, where he's on the front foot, where naturally Xhaka isn't going to be tested as much. Even on that basis, there was times he was isolated in the second half. On top of him just trying to nutmeg people on the edge of his own area. Myth, man. Myth. Absolute myth. And if he was protected, go and watch the first goal again, the transition. Fair play, though. You're allowed your opinion, but I come with receipts. Arteta was too desperate to get Odegaard in yesterday, and it unbalanced the team. I don't even think it's that thing. I get it, because, yeah, you could say Odegaard and Smith Rowe. I just think, bro, the main problems is you fucked about with the striker stuff, and a game where you can't do that. It's absolutely, Less said the better, man. Really feel taken for a mug, DG. Been Arteta in all this time, but something in me changed last night. I can see straight through him now, and I can't take this for my club. I'm going to get into it at 4 p.m., but I share your pain, man. Saka will do better 1v1 against Suarez and Xhaka, so I don't really get it. As much as I agree with Saka giving you something going forward, he can still do it at fullback. Emre bottled it last, like Villarreal should have won by more. Maybe, but we managed a way to bottle it more. End of the day, Emre's, probably unfortunate that he's conceded an away goal, but he's got an advantage and he's coming away to our place in the second leg. It's crazy, man. Martinelli should have started instead of Odegaard. To be fair, Smith Rowe in the 10, Odegaard through the middle, Saka there. You could have had the young G/young Haaland players pressing properly, but to be fair, what I didn't even understand as well, all right, cool. I wanted to at least sit here with that false 9 thing and say we didn't score because there's no striker. It's the pressing, Smith Rowe can press, Odegaard can press. It didn't look like they were told clearly what to do. So again, tell them how Pepe can press. This team can press. You saw it against Spurs. They can't press consistently. But again, it just appears that Arteta leaves room for shadows of doubts with his players, and you can't afford to do that. I was happy to see Coquelin coming on. I weren't happy to see Coquelele, playing no-look passes like Ronaldinho against us, and he almost set up a goal, It's absolute mad. Arteta just seems to have a problem trusting young players. And I feel that as well, because he'll tell you young players, but on the face of it, he's leaning on the experienced ones, and they're the ones letting him down. He only started fucking with Smith Rowe when he had no opportunity. Saka's an anomaly because you can't rule him out. You see what he's doing with Martinelli. It's crazy, man. I'm done with Xhaka. No matter where he plays, someone has to play within themselves to cover his crap. Fair play. Who really thinks we're going to win at home? We have to have small hope, man. James isn't giving Arsenal a chance. He's saying 2-1 Newcastle. You're a Newcastle fan, so you're going to say that. Xhaka was left out to the Wolves. Obviously, when you've got somebody, I'd describe that as, he's been left, but it's like it's like a family living in the jungle, and you've got a young son that's never been taught to hunt, you know, and you've dashed him in there, and there's wolves and all of these things. Obviously, you have to blame his parents for throwing him out there. Arteta being Xhaka's parent for this example and throwing him left back. But then you've got a man who's naive. If he's never hunted before, he's not gonna last. He's not gonna be able to eat. He's not gonna be able to find shelter. It's gonna get long for him. That's what happened, you know. It's dead, man. It's dead. And when I see things like that, man, I'm not under pressure, man. He weren't protected, but fair play. And to be fair, that goal, that I'd actually blame the front three. There's no pressing. That goal was started from. Please go and watch the whole build up. It's gone from back to front. Then it's gone with Marie and Xhaka's feeble attempts to try and win the ball. Ceballos was getting breezed out every game, bro. How many times that goal? The run from, was it Foyth in the build up to it? How many times yesterday did Ceballos try to stop him? I didn't even realize Ceballos was that slow. Respect all the opinions, though, man. Should have cleared it, but it should have been stopped before him. Look how disjointed our team was, man. You know, very disjointed yesterday, man. Very naive. And again, we always, the main thing with Arteta is learning from your mistakes. It's not an inexperienced thing. You know, inexperience is only relevant when you're not learning from your mistakes. You know, Richarlison, the one time he took Xhaka on, you saw what happened. Come on, man. Come on, big up all the moderators and the subscribers. Them 97 more likes. Let's keep going, man. Let's keep going, bros. Worst press. It's not. You know what? It can't be the worst pressing car. We didn't press. You know, there was no press. There was no intention to press, really. So it's even that, man. You know, it's dead, man. It's dead. Absolute dead. Absolute dead. Him being vegan, if he is vegan, it's got nothing to do with anything. What kind of nonsense. Ganabri's vegan. You know, can eat what you want when you're a good footballer. Come on, man. It was dead. It's dead. Absolute dead from us. And for me, like I said, it's about learning from mistakes. You know, and this, I don't, whether it's learning from mistakes, whether it's a healthy amount of pressure, I don't think man are learning, you know. It's nothing to do with inexperience now, because actually when Arteta came in, for a large type period, we weren't even talking about inexperience because he was doing things. Now he's probably hit a roadblock. He's probably not trusting himself. He's not, for me, he's doing this half and half thing. He's not doubling down. He's trying to do, let's be a tiny bit defensive. Let's do a bit of attacking, bro. You've got to find balance. So people that understand ball know I'm getting that, but he don't double down on things. He doesn't double down on players, doesn't double down on a system. It's dead. Like, it's terrible, really and truly. He needs to double down on stuff, man. You know, that's, you know, it's nothing to do with inexperience, man. Inexperience is not the problem. It's not the problem, because it weren't the problem. It's not learning from your mistakes or not being pressed to learn from your mistakes. Because when I in a semi-final, you're doing things like that, there's no pressure on your job. And you know that. Whether you do, I think Arteta puts pressure on himself? Yes. Do I think Arteta gets scrutiny? Yes. But there's no real one. Or you don't do that. You don't do that. If you don't do that. You see it. You don't. You don't, because people are going to ask you what's going on. And I'm going to touch on this more in the next live stream. But even from a business point of view, this is why I don't rate Kroenke, because even if you didn't give a F about football and you look at it, boom, Arsenal need to be in Europe for finances, right? We all know how glorious it was to get in the FA Cup for obvious reasons, on top of it just being a cup, right? Yeah. So we've messed up that chance. Europe with that luxury is gone, right? Via the domestic places in the league where the players have effed up, but Arteta's also played a part in that. So over a 38-game calendar, once again, 38-game calendar where there's no hiding places, messed up. FA Cup, messed up. Europa League, hope we turn it around. So that's 3 chances of getting Europe. That's smashed up. That has knock-on effects for what we may or may not do in the transfer window. And for Arteta, especially because you're no longer a head coach, you know how this is directly going to correlate to you. It's not the same, but if you fix up and you get there, you might have plan A targets, plan B, plan C. You might be able to go grab your plan A targets because there's a little bit of money there. Again, I don't like to speak about money in football because it's nothing to do with me. I like to speak about the footy, but you get where I'm going. For me, the inexperience isn't the problem. It's not even naivety. It's just sheer arrogance, man. Like, it's arrogance. You're trying to do this Man City thing with these players and it's not banging. You know, when you've got the players to do that, you can do whatever. These men can't lock down one position. How are you going to change? With the exception of people like Saka, you can't play everybody elsewhere because they can't. Certain centre mids don't have to play centre mid. How are you going to play them left back? You know, Are you going to play right backs elsewhere? It's not making sense. So it's naive. It's not even naivety. It's borderline stupidity. It's arrogance. It screams of someone that's getting a free hit, someone that just experimenting for the sake of it, not even proper experimenting. You know, there's been many times I feel the players have let down Arteta, but yesterday's on him. Yeah, the players were poor and stuff, but you have set them up for that. You have set them as poor as I think Ceballos was, excluding that red card. Even that subman, you set them up. You set them up. And you were too reactive, and it sums up where he is, man. I want to look back and say, yo, I can't believe I felt this way about Arteta in a year or two, but I have to call. I've got no allegiances to Arteta or any of these players. I support the football club. I've got more allegiances to you lot than them, man. There, like I don't know them. Come on, man. It's dead. Less of that. You know, it's nothing to do with Ceballos being Spanish. What are you on about? Less of that, my guy. You have to hold a block for that. We don't need racism and all that nonsense here, man. What's all that crap? Bro, Ceballos, every game in Europa League, Ceballos has effed up. It's dead. Absolute dead. Xhaka's overall form is way ahead of Partey. You're allowed to believe that if you want. Big up DG. Do you guys fully rotate this fixture and help players get fitness? Is this the end for Ceballos? It's been the end for Ceballos. I think, you know, Ceballos has made it clear that he's busting out. Probably even Arsenal's probably don't make sense to keep him. It's not making sense, man. Honestly, Deluded. What has Chambers done to solidify that right back position? To be fair, Chambers has been calm in recent times. You know, Cedric's also been crap, but I don't know why Cedric's been ruled out and them thing there. I don't know, man. Dead pressing. It's dead pressing. DG, last night you were ruining marriages, man. Aye, man. Blame Arsenal, bro. Blame Arsenal. Blame Arsenal. The good news is that Danny Ceballos can't play in the second leg. The ref has done us a favor. You know the wickedest thing about that, yeah, bro? Before Ceballos started moving mad and we was losing, I actually felt he was getting on the ball a bit more than other people. He was about a bit more, and then he's just nosedived. And Ceballos has ability, but you're just too naive. I've said it before and I say it again. You can see why you're not at Real Madrid. You're not levels. You know, you're not levels in some of the things you do, man. You know, guys do get stressed out and forget all the basics. Facts. Absolutely terrible, man. Absolutely terrible. Good footballer. Had a terrible first half, patterned up in the second. That's my thoughts on him. Bro, I don't know. Marie, I don't listen. I like Marie, innit? I like Marie. Bro, come on, boxing fan. Nobody's opinion is facts. I'm not gonna, you know, get into that. But you're gonna have to hold the time out, because that's one of my pet peeves when people try and force opinions down my viewers and myself. I don't try and force my views down you lot's throats. Don't try and do that. You know, consent and that. But anyways, I do think people give Marie a free pass, and there's not really. I don't think Marie was terrible yesterday, but I just think I've never seen someone have such a small sample size in terms of games and then be proclaimed as this, that, and the other. Nobody wants to speak about things, you know. And this is where I'm looking at Arteta. How are you going to pattern up Gabriel? How are you going to pattern up Marie? How are you going to, if you know you're linked with Max Aarons, how are you going to take him to the next level? How are you going to take Saka to the next level? How are you going to develop Martinelli, Smith Rowe, and Balogun? Come on, man. It's a madness, man. It's an absolute madness. Bro, man made 5, you know. There's no what annoyed me about Arteta, he's coming and get out and saying, yeah, I was gonna sub him. Bro, sub man straight away, bro. Emre lost 1-2-1, but he's 2-0 up. He probably they could have scored more. They could have put this get tied to bed. He's bringing on defensive mids. He's saying, Coquelin, boom, get ready, get warmed up. You're getting slapped in the middle. That's proactiveness. And I've seen that when I've seen Brendan Rodgers do that, Olympiacos manager do that, Dean Smith twice do that. How many times have I sat here and I said the managers are out doing Arteta in game, and against someone like Unai Emery, you can't take a chance with that, man. It wasn't, you know. Listen, Ceballos didn't deserve to be sent off for that, but it was coming. Before that, I think everyone in their nan could see halftime Ceballos needed to get subbed. They could see it. So I think he was hard done by, and the ref was terrible, but it was coming. If it weren't that, it was going to be something else, man. Bro, it's not, you know, we know it's his first job, but for me, it's nothing to do with your first job anymore. It's learning from your own mistakes. You're doing things several times. It's nothing to do with that now. You know, it's borderline. It's moved on to naivety. You know, it's borderline onto it's naivety now. And the thing is, he chats too much, bro. Bare chatty patties, man. Bare chatty patties. Ceballos was reckless. He's a baller, but he's rash. He was putting in good balls and taking players on, but he was calamitous. You know, big up for calling out these peeps with their vegan/Spanish comments, slippery slope to racism. We don't need none of that, man. That's all idiot thing. Bro, he does need to go back to Real Betis. I don't even think it's a Betis thing. The way he's moving, it's a Segunda League. You know, you might not even get in there. You might not even get in there, man. Bro, he's not proactive. He's not reactive. He just exists. He just vibes in. Like, it's just vibes. It's vibes, man. Absolute vibes, man. To be fair, Marie, Gabriel, Saliba, when comes, they're all calm, man. But they're just all, it's all a madness, man. It's all a madness. Well, Gabriel's played a lot more than Marie. Oh, Paul Torres is a certified centre half. It's a shame we and Net are gonna have a chance of grabbing him, man. It's crazy, man. Absolute crazy. Like Adam has said, one word for Ceballos, liability. Say that for the whole team, man. And that's why the gloves are off. For me, no one's safe, bro. Not a single player, not a single manager, no one at this club, bro. And if your name's not Mikel Arteta, I mean, if your name's not Bukayo Saka, Kieran Tierney, Martinelli, Smith Rowe, couple other young G's, I don't care for you lot. Honest to God, I don't care for you lot because you lot don't care about man. You know, you don't care about man. You know, it's just the night, but it's just for me when the naivety is going unchecked because who is telling him he's moving mad or maybe you should do this or do that? It seems like all the other guys, you know, the Donny with the one earpod, he's just going, you know, yes, Arteta, that is good. Yes. Like, brother, what's going on? Like, whoa, and it's not even like that. More time, it's all up here and that. Maybe he's listening to my watch-alongs and that. Like, what's going on? Like, the bare yes men. Or even if there isn't yes men, there's probably gonna be hella people that are crippled, not really allowed to make opinions and that, man. Just bare clapping, bro. You could see Emre from minute one going mad. Arteta just looks like a spectator at times, and I don't believe you need to shout, and because I do believe a lot of these new managers, they're just doing all of this for the sake of it, but you never get the vibe he's on his levels, man. You know, you never get it. Oh, it's dead, man. It's dead. Nobody's checking. Nobody's like, no one's above criticism. And like I said, Arteta done a calamity. Do I see Edu, Stan Kroenke, anybody calling him and saying, yo, bro, why did you're the football man, but why did Xhaka play left back? Why'd you take so long with the subs? Why'd you play false nine? I don't think man are asking him questions. Man are there going, yeah, good job, man. We can still turn it around. We got an away goal. Well done, man. You know? And the Arteta propaganda doesn't help because we're doubling down on the man and we're not seeing much. Like I said, I want to be right. I want to be wrong, sorry. I want Arteta to turn it around. There's no bigger Arteta man than me, man. But at the same time, you know, you got to defend the club. Nah, man, you're allowed your opinion. You can think Partey's a fraud. It's like what you said, fact, bro. No one's opinion is a fact. Right, that's a fact. That is the only fact. No one's opinion is a fact. You know, we're all just seeing football from a different way. That goes for even Xhaka. It's not a fact that Xhaka's a poor footballer. It's not. You know, even though I think that. You know, agendas aren't facts, man. I don't know. Partey must have fucked your girl, car. You're onto him, man. He must have gave your girl that Ghanaian shillelagh, car. You're moving a bit mad still. Coming a bit too personal. DG, if the Donny was listening to your watch along, he wouldn't be vexed now. To be fair, bro, he probably is. He's probably lotioning to her babes. He's probably on FaceTime. 100% he's on FaceTime when the game's carrying on, man. You know, shout out to him, man. Do you know what? Do you know what? I like proactive managers, but if there's a thing where there was no shadow of doubt going into the game, I can understand not jumping around. I don't think that's the case. And what scares me about Arteta is this is life, innit? How many of you have prepared for something and then when the situation comes, it's flipped on its head? You know, how many of you have been on time to work and then next thing you know, you forgot a key or you stepped in dog poo, you now got a pattern and now you're late. There's always spanners thrown in the works. There's nothing wrong with the false, in hindsight there was, but the false nine, the Xhaka left back, the many things we're speaking about. There's nothing wrong in isolation with these things. But you damn well have to get it perfect spot on. And secondly, When you see it's not working, all right, cool, let's switch it up. No, you don't always need to do that, but let's switch it up. Boom, aye, Xhaka, come inside, Saka, out there, boom, 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 this, that, and the third, man. No, what are you saying? This is why I'm saying the best managers are only as good as their assistants and coaches around them. Facts, facts. High fives at the end of the game was embarrassing. You know me, I'm never one to speak about all of them sort of things, but it does leave a sour taste in your mouth when you're just seeing man smiling and stuff. Like, what's going on, man? I'm not saying you need to, you know, I'm not saying the only way to show you're disheartened is to screw face and mean mug and things like that, but you get the point, man. Listen, I want Arteta to get it right. I back Arteta more than several of these players, but at the same time, I back no one. Like, I believe in fair and healthy criticism. The players get criticized. If I talk nonsense on YouTube, I'll get criticized. If you lot talk nonsense, you'll get criticized. You know, seems like Arteta just doubling down, and it just feels for me when we win. You know, I believe in fairness. When we win, if he deserves all the praise him. It just seems like there's all the think pieces for Arteta. But when we lose, it's every other reason as to other than the manager. When the truth's in the middle, we win, lose, and draw together. No one's above anything, man. It's terrible, man. Do you think we'll beat Newcastle? Hopefully, man. But when we're moving like this, I don't know, man. But I hope we do. I hope we do. But right now, it's mad. Hey, happy birthday in advance, Jay Walt, man. Good thing. Hey, praise your mum. You're born on Saturday. You're born on that particular day. Because if your birthday was on the same day Arsenal's playing, myth, absolute myth. Everyone under KSE are yes men puppets. The prerequisite for the puppet master. The wickedest thing, you could get a new manager, but again, it's going to be like Emre and Arteta. It starts off wavy and then it fizzles out. It don't matter who the manager is. Until the owner F's off, it's not changing, people. It's not changing, man. It's not changing, and it's upsetting in that regards, Carl. We're doing BS, man. Like, we're doing a lot of BS, man. Come on. Arteta seems to have that weak mentality creep back in. That high press we used to do is gone, and it's every game our mentality is our downfall. And this is what I'm talking about. We can't keep going game in, game out and saying, oh, the ref or individual mistakes. At what point are we looking at the manager? Come on, man. I feel sorry for all the Indian viewers. You have said, bloody hell, we stay awake till 3 a.m. in the night to watch matches here in India, and they disappoint us, DG. My sympathy goes to all the Indian viewers that are watching, man, for that stuff, and other people in similar regions or regions that have to go through the same commitment. Again, that's commitment, because a lot of you still have to go work. You know, the world doesn't care that you stayed up until 3 a.m. Come 6 a.m., you still have to get up for work. That's the commitment levels the club needs. You know, if only they had our desire and our work ethic and all these things, we'd be different, man. Don't even care who the manager comes in because of the owner. It doesn't matter. You could get a prime Pep Guardiola. Yeah, we might see a bit of system and stuff, but we're going to get to a level where it's dead. Like, until the owner goes, it's dead. It's all dead. It doesn't matter who comes in. It doesn't matter what players we get. It's dead, man. It's dead, man. It's terrible. It's absolutely terrible, man. Day in the life of an Arsenal fan. Has Mikel Arteta done his press conference yet? Because that's all I want to hear from, man. I don't want to hear your post-game comments, because it's you typically do this annoying thing where you focus on things where you shouldn't be focusing on. Like, we need to take accountability for a lot of the things we're doing, like, and we're not. Can't disagree with that if that's what you believe, Karim. I am convinced that these players are uncoachable and Arteta is not very intelligent. I think they're coachable because they've seen improvement. The problem is they can't sustain it. They can't. There's a theme now. Every time the manager comes in, the manager's telling us everything. We get homework. There's all propaganda pieces about how the manager's leaving nothing to chance. For a bit, it looks wavy. We win a couple wars like Spurs, Chelsea, United. But when we get to the meat of it, the thick of it, we see what won. The players are dead. They'll revert back to type. A lot of these players know they can outlast Arteta. The manager, again, I do think he knows what he's doing at times, but I think, you know, he had the element of being unknown. No one really knew about you. They've clocked you now. And you don't really see his DNA, his system. I don't know what he wants to do. I could tell you he wants to play high pressing, attractive football, but man, don't see that. I don't see that enough to really be saying that. You know, I don't know that. You know, I don't know. And again, to sit here a year from now, what did I tell you when Arteta first came in, folks? I said, all I want to do is see the variables that you can control, style of play, getting some sort of change out of these players, clarity in what we're doing, game in, game out, game management, man management. I haven't seen the consistency I wanted. All I wanted, if he answered those questions, that's all I want, because they're the only variables he truly can control when you've got Stan Kroenke as the owner of this football club. But, you know, it's not as easy now to say, I do think you give him better players. Anyone gets better players than this, they'll play better. But I don't think you give him better players. You give him a backup left back. You give him better centre mid. You give him anything that we think we need, and we're going to get better. We're not. We're not, because you haven't shown me enough, man. You haven't seen me enough, man. Haven't seen enough, man. No, I just think a lot of these players need to get coached somewhere else, man. EG, I agree. I'm always hearing excuses like the way Arteta spoke about conceding early, as if it's not our fault. No accountability, treats it like misfortune. That's it. It's not misfortune. You control your own luck in life. Once again, Arsenal stand in the rain and complain why we're wet, bro. It's not making sense. You can't stand in the rain and ask why you're wet. You either get an umbrella, you get a jacket, a waterproof thing, or you be proactive and you look at the weather and say, boy, it's not worth standing outside today. I'm going to get drenched. I'll stand outside tomorrow. All of that is being proactive. Then we're reactive. We're all probably getting paper and putting it over our heads and saying, keeping us dry. And we all know how stupid paper is to keep you dry. This is the sort of thing. We've built our house on the sand. So when the sun is shining, it looks wavy. But when it starts raining, it's a Jenga thing. It's a crumble, man. You know, it's a crumble. This makes the game of football interesting if we come back second leg, bro. I hear that, but fuck that, man. Like, let's just win the game, man. Oh, and that's it as well, man. Listen, I don't think it's all Arteta, all the manager, all the owners, everyone. These players are not cut up to task, man. Not cut up to task. There's a handful of players, man. You know, they're not cut up to task. They're not levels, man. To be fair, I agree with Willian leaving, but Willian ain't even got nothing to do with. If a real Willian, we can't be chatting Willian's name based on yesterday, man. He's not gonna go though. Like, he's not going to go, bro. You know, he's not going to go. He adapt, but how long did he adapt last year? He won the FA Cup, and that's what I mean by you know, that was a feel-good factor. Take nothing away from it. This is why he clearly can install tactics. You're right, you know, but and he did very well, and he can beat top managers. There's clearly something in him, but at the same time, he was new. You know, no one really, apart from Pep to a degree, no one knew what to expect. You know, plus we've all got to remember the players wanted Emery out, so there was a bit of a psychological factor. But when that star dust settles from a new manager and all of this, and we look to the thick of it, it's not levels. And you know, over a 38-game period, there's not been adaptation to a certain level. You know, I hear what you're saying about you need top class players, but you know, it's hardly the Ritz. You know, you can't book a room at the Travel Lodge and ask, where's my caviar, can you? It's not going to make sense. You know, Arteta knew the role he was coming in. So while I have sympathy for some of the variables that aren't in his control, while I think some of these things he's been done dirty, you know, it's not levels. You know, adapt to your system. You ain't got top class players, so make something work. You know, again, you know, you can't top class players for what has he shown you to say he gets top class players is going to be better? I agree with you for what it's worth, but I can't give him that excuse or that luxury. It don't work for me. You know, you're not getting top class players in the lot if you join Arsenal for the year or two. If you get Champions League, then you might. You know, you have to be able to get a consistent tune out of these players, and they haven't. You know, you ain't gonna know massive unbeaten runs. You know, we've gone on little free games and exaggerated it. We beat West Brom. We beat Brighton. At the time, Brighton were dead. And take nothing away from the Chelsea game. Fair play. It's dead, man. It's dead. I hear what he's saying, but you're not gonna get top class players right now, man. I hope we are, Tino, man. I hope we are, man. Chin up, DG, my guy. I predicted a 2-1 loss last night, so I'm not disappointed. I've always knew it was going to come down to the second leg, and that's what scares me, because that's been the theme of ours in the Europa League. this season, and that's not certified for that, man. DG got that caviar line from Turkish yesterday. Shout out to Turkish, but that's my own bars. I don't know what Turkish did or said yesterday, you know. Shout out Turkish, but no, didn't watch Turkish yesterday. The fuck? Get the likes up, man. Bro, if the players are down in tools, they need to get rushed. I'll be real with you, because that's an absolute disgrace. You did Arteta dirty, you've done Wenger dirty, you've done Emre dirty. Regardless of what I say about these managers, where's your effing honor? These players are pampered. These players, when the time, you know, they all rush when we win to come out. They're probably all pushing Saka out of the way when we win to be the ones to give the pre-game. But then there's nothing. You know, there's nothing. When it's put up or shut up, man are getting shut up. It's dead, man. Oh, and to be fair, you don't need top class players to have mentality. West Ham are shining, you know. West Ham are shining. Do they have top class players? As much as I rate Leicester's players, would you say they're top class players? There is some, but generally it's about motivation. And forget Arteta for a sec. These players have accountability. Those players want to leave a legacy in their own way, shape, and form. Arsenal players, it's like they're just existing. They don't really want to have a footballing legacy. They don't really truly want to leave ingrain their own legacy into Arsenal and leave something. I think Saka does. I think Martinelli does. I think Tierney does. I think couple man do. I don't think I think the others, they don't, man. They don't. It's not serious. And this is why the problem is complex at Arsenal. This is why I have an issue when people just blame Arteta, just blame the players. It's everything. And it's nights like yesterday, I have a real hard time. It questions your love for football, because as much as I like my club and I think we have no divine right to win anything, it's like I just want my club to reflect what it used to be. I just want my club to reflect what we claim it does. And it's like, you look at it, yeah, I'm an Arsenal fan, but do I support what's going on? Is this club does it reflect the values that I grew up on? Really have a tough time looking at it, man. Really have a tough time looking at it. It's embarrassing, man. It is what it is, man. It's just the next day in the life of a Gooner. We've been getting embarrassed all season. Nothing's going to stop, is it, really and truly, folks? We're at 150 likes. Keep running that up, please, people. I appreciate you guys. Everyone's to blame. The badge is too big for Hella, man. Hella, man. Bro, we probably need the Donny from goal, to be fair with you. We need him, man. Big up the rest of the DG Nation, man. It's a collective thing, man. It's a collective thing. And these lot are just... You know, we've got players here that can play crossfield passes. I've got players that can take the ball under pressure. I've got players that can do that, but we ain't got intelligent players, man. Competence, consistency. Competence, confidence, consistency. The 3 C's. Some men are competent. They don't have the confidence. They don't have the consistency. Some men have consistency, but they don't have the competence, so they're consistently crap. You know, the very few players here, you can piece them 3 C's that I always speak about together. Say it's a blessing if Villarreal score in the first 5 minutes like they did in the return in the first leg. You know what it is. So it's down to these players, isn't it? It's terrible, man. So many questions, bro. You know what? It's unanswered question. I don't even want answers, bro. It's that point, you know. I don't even want to hear from no one at the club. You lot just play your games, lock off the season, let our school go on vacation, let DG get back to when it's just transfer rumors and things, and leave it, man. You know, I have to take my feelings for this club and try and pull it in a box and just dash the box away, man. It's effing up me now, isn't it? It's getting to the point now where I need to take accountability. You lot are ruining my mood. So how can I get vexed now? Because I know what you lot are doing and I'm choosing to allow you to do it. So now I have to take responsibility personally. Like, I can't allow you lot to keep messing up my mood because you're not serious. You don't love football as much as we do, man. Bro, forget it, bro. They're not all his own players. They're not all his own players, but he's been allowed to run the rule over them. When he was starting Mustafi unnecessarily in big games, when he's choosing to play William through the middle, when there's a reluctance to play Martinelli, you know, these are all his decisions. When he's changing the squad, you can't make excuses. They're not all his players. He never signed them, but he's been allowed to. He's had more of a free run to run the rule over these players than any other manager right now, man. Whatever you said, Deluded, big up. People keep saying he needs his own players, but he has signed / renewed 17 players in this squad, and he can't squeeze anything more out of them. And we don't agree. The majority of these players aren't Arteta's players, but he's been allowed to say, bro, you said you want thingy, man. You're saying you wanted Ceballos to come back. You brought in Willian. You said Willian's no point of yesterday, but you said you come out and said Willian, right? And the many other things, you know, your reliance on certain players. And when you've got a team like City, you can do all that rotation things. But it's like, do you know what it is? Arteta is extremely naive and he has no self-awareness. And if he if he does have self-awareness, it borderlines arrogance now. The propaganda, he's probably reading the propaganda pieces, bro. It's all wavy telling me, oh, Bentner said in his autobiography, Arteta's got the most managerial potential of all his teammates. Bro, who is, you know, to be fair, he's played with some good players, Bentner, but come on, nobody screams management, man. Arteta's press conference came across very arrogant. You're saying we don't score goals even if we have three strikers on the pitch, sort it out. Realistically, with a false nine, left wing and right wing are the main goal scorers, and unfortunately, Pepe and Saka were barely in the box. So again, he's leaving shadows of doubt. Make sure they're in the box, man. Fact. You know, Arteta has got some things right, but there's been no consistency. And for me, you've doubled down on the experienced players. You've not really started anything new. You're still relying on Xhaka, still relying on David Luiz, still relying at a point on Hector Bellerin. There was a time even Hector Bellerin's playing week in, week out. When remember we were saying, yo, why ain't Cedric getting a look in? Why ain't this? Why ain't that? Managers are allowed to make their decisions. We're allowed to criticize them. You know, it's been a long season, but he's showed many different circumstances of when he, you know, his own selfish choices have effed up the club. Like, are you making the right decisions for you or your club? Again, a couple of these players you were teammates with, Chambers. I could be wrong on Chambers. I'm sure Chambers, El Nene. Again, they two players that really no relevance to yesterday. More so El Nene than Chambers, but it just screams comfortability, if that's even a word. And also, we've got to remember, Arteta is a manager that man there can control. He ain't got clout like Carlo and Allegri and these guys. He can't sit there and say, boom, this and that. On one hand, he rejected the job from 1 year to the other and took it 12 months later. So there has to be something that was given to him versus a year ago. But he can't go in there and puff out his chest and things, you know. It's a relationship of mutual interest. Kroenke wants a manager where he's not going to hear no noise and things. Arteta's got a platform where only he's going to benefit from this. Because if Arteta leaves tomorrow, he's benefited from it. He's got Arsenal on his CV. He's probably learned a lot, rightly or wrongly. Arsenal are back in square one. This is it. And one thing we cannot get twisted, yeah, this squad isn't good enough to get top four. But over a 38-game period, it is good enough to play a lot better and show a bit more consistency than it is. That, you know, it's all, like I say, there's several things that can be right. You know. No, I do think Emre's a better manager than him. You know, he's shown it, and I don't think Emre should have been given more time because Allegri was dead, man. Like, I'm not Allegri, sorry. Emre was dead as well. It's like man are calling for Wenger back. We have to forget about Allegri. Allegri is returning back to Juventus. I don't know who said we're getting Allegri. I simply said that's why Allegri and Carlo ain't signing for us. Please take the earwax out your ear and listen, my guy. Because one pet peeve of mine is not being critiqued, it's needing to listen to what people exactly are saying, man. Don't just hear what you want to hear, because that's coming like them Arsenal players. Eventually the morale is going to reach a point of no return. Facts, man. Absolute facts. Which players would you say have improved under Mikel Arteta's management? Ooh. I'd have to sit down and think about that, and just because of that, I can't really say. Based on the fact that Smith Rowe's elevated his squad status, I would say him. I would actually say Eddie Nketiah to a slight degree, because at one point he was a rotation option. Beyond that, I have to really sit down and think, man. I have to really, really sit down and think, man. It is defo good. It's not good enough to get top four, but based on how the season's been, it's defo, bro. When you look at the games we've lost and how we've lost, it's good enough to right those mistakes. You know, let's be real. This squad isn't levels, but it's defo good enough to make more of a meal to have a fight for the top four. Let's be real with ourselves, man. I don't think he's improved Saka. I don't think he's improved Lacazette. Smith Rowe, cool. I think Pepe, I'll give him some credit, but you didn't want to play Pepe. Chambers, to be fair, even before Chambers got bodied, he was doing all right. But I'm trying to find significantly improvement. You know, selective hearing confirming their bias, DG. That is it. You know, when I done my scouting course, level 2, you know, we all have that you do have different biases, and one of them is, let's just say we're looking at Joe Bloggs. I think Joe Bloggs is a good player. Then C might be saying Joe Bloggs is crap, but I turn off his opinion. You know, random guy might say he's good, and because that's my opinion, it's reaffirming, and you can see how that's dangerous, man. You can see how that's dangerous. Xhaka, to be fair, Xhaka's doing what Xhaka was doing under Emery and doing what under Wenger to a degree. I wouldn't say he's improved. I did feel at a time he hid Xhaka's deficiencies quite well, to be fair. And now it's being highlighted at left back. So I wouldn't say he's improved. I'd say he's given man more confidence. And this is it. We're not good enough for top 4, but we're good enough to challenge for it, make more of a meal of it. Definitely, man. They might be, but Wolves are behind us in the table. So that's another underperforming team, really. It's absolute joke, man. You know, Xhaka's just been misunderstood. Xhaka should be a squad player. He's been put in an air of, it's like what we used to do with Giroud. Giroud's a good player, but we're putting him, trying to make him the main striker. It's not going to be a thing like that. We do these little things and then wonder why these players are not levels. Like it's quite special, man. Only a certain football team would do that, really and truly. Please make sure you're hitting the like button, people. There's 166 of you. Also, make sure you're checking out the pin tweet. Let me drop a link to the watch along once again. And I'm also live at 4 p.m. today, people. We'll focus a bit more on Mikel Arteta. I'm trying to avoid that, as you can see here, people. Big up the 5 people that have hit the like button already on that one. That one there. And then, yeah, man, I've made a video on him. I think he's a good player still. Boy, if they wanted Xhaka, they were in problems, weren't they? Like, tells you everything. And boy, they're probably saying we dodged a bullet. So yeah, man. Our players lack synergy. Our youth players link up well, but the rest of our players have a horrendous link up. Ballers can play with ballers. Like, that's why Lacazette looks good with the 1-2s. Good footballers can play with good footballers, man. Big up, same old Arsenal. No manager comes near us without the guarantee of cash. Another yes man comes in. And that's what I'm saying, you know. That's what I'm saying, you know. Any manager that cares about their reputation and really wants to return Arsenal, you're not going to accept some of these things, man. You know. You know, we heard that Arteta improved the young players like Sterling and Sane. I expected to see more young players integrated and doing bits 100%. A man said, can you predict where Arsenal are in 5 years? Bro, you can. I can't predict that and don't want to predict that, but you can imagine it's not pretty. It's absolutely not pretty. 13 wins and 13 losses in the Premier League is all you need to know about our season. No consistency. And again, it's very much those, what's the saying, half empty, half full sort of glass thing. And this is where this is why I have a problem with Arsenal fans, because it's all negative, it's all positive when the truth is in the middle. You know, VAR has cost us this season, but anyone that's played Sunday League football, you know, referees are poor. You can't account for that. You know, how many games every game we're talking about VAR. Something we're not doing right, and it takes away from it, because yeah, VAR might have cost us a penalty or a goal or whatever. But when we've looked at it, you know, we've also not defended right. We've also not taken our chances. We've also not created. We've also been stagnant playing out from the back, blessing. So I'm not too sure on that one. It sounds like excuses. It sounds like exactly what I'm trying to say. Like, in that you either it's all negative or it's all positive. League 2 is a bit of a stretch, but fair play. You know, really and truly, 38 games. Am I gonna say we ain't got top 4 because of VAR? Really? Come on now. Really? Crazy, man. It's absolute crazy. Mourinho would have this team top 6, not too sure. Carlo, I back Carlo, but Carlo's not staying if it's dead, man. Like, it's dead. None of these managers are coming, man. None of these managers are coming, man. On that note, it's lunchtime, people. I'm going to go grab some lunch. As I said, I'm back again at 4 p.m. And obviously, Saturday, there'll be no live streams. But Sunday is watch-along business. And I'm not really confident against Newcastle. But nonetheless, they're both here. Give them both a follow, people. Set your reminders and things like that. and I'll see you lot later, man. You know, and it's pathetic, bro. It's pathetic using VAR as an excuse. It's pathetic. Everyone's getting decisions against us, you know. But there's been times VAR, small chances, but there's been times VAR has helped us. Yesterday, bro, we got a penalty for no reason. There's contact, but let's be real, that's not a pen. You know, we're getting the rub of the green sometimes. VAR has cost us, but it's dead, man. It's dead, man. It's absolutely dead, man. But anyways, I'll catch you lot in a bit, man. I appreciate the praise. Big up the members. Big up everyone that's there. Cronky out each and every time. I'll catch you lot at 4 p.m, people. Yeah, man. On that note, people, DG, I'm out, man.